one. One last ride. Who wins this one goes to a major, OG or Entity. Entity, I think this is the first time I've seen them not draft Train Protector while it was available. So a bit of a different one. They are making the changes. And in terms of how many times they met 6 times in the last 2 years, and every single time OG was victorious.
They had their best chance in the last game yesterday and just could not close it out. Although this time around, I want to say Entity's lineup, it inspires me. I feel as though this is the lineup that brings them to the major in my eyes. I feel like it's like 60-40, maybe 55-45.
It's a very strong lineup in terms of laning stage. You have Undying, you have like these lane dominators, Dead Prophet into TB. So paired up with the melee strength 4, who does have a stun available, so your Spirit Siphons are going to go off, and you have a lot of global presence as well. This Nature's Prophet hitting level 6, and the Sunstrike. We've seen Stormstormer, what he can do on Invoker, whether he's having a bad time early or he's the one like adjusting, or he's the one controlling the tempo of the game. Let's see it peak up. Sunstrike on the range creep. Will he get it?
we have seen some low numbers on this. But I have a feeling he gets this one. What do you think?
I'll go with no.
All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's see if he can get it. It's going to be with this Sunstrike. He's got to set it up and... Ooh. Actually, just denied. All right.
Saving 175 mana. This might be the first time that Invoker did not use the Sunstrike. That is the extra Invoker to try secure that range creep. Or maybe they watched some of the games and they realized that it's not really worth it because it's not working out. These are professional e-gamers. They know what's up. They're going to block it, share the damage.
Every time you say e-gamer, it really gives me a chuckle. Tiger getting chased. And trying to pull this creep wave, but there is a decay, and can they stop these creeps from coming over? No, it looks like they just, the pull is that easy, right?
DM will take the creep wave. Taiga dropping low. Fishman, he knows what they're gonna do. This is not a strong lane. This is Pango on the off lane. This hero most of the time just straight up loses the lane. He does to get far, but he almost never threatens a kill. And yeah, look at all this harassment already on the bottom lane. This is the lane to look out for the first blood, for sure. This Dead Prophet plus Tiny. Once Tiny gets level 2, Dead Prophet already got level 2.
So has that Spirit Siphon, and with the Leech Seed, these heroes on OG will heal up. Toby just trying to sustain with that Spirit Siphon. Only 1 charge on that level 2, though, or on that level 1 of the ability level 2 in general.
Now you explained it so well.
Thank you. That's my
got out of the trouble
analysis.
Immediately.
Woo. Taiga again getting chased here by Fishman. And Decay up in 4 seconds. Working with these boots of speed, so he's just going to chase. Eventually, there should be a disruption. But...
doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
No stick, no fairy fire.
I'm impressed.
Taiga, you know that he was paying attention during the math classes.
He did the math immediately.
This is also first blood money. Like, you do not want to give it away.
Is he? He's still just... There's 3 mangoes now on Fishman. I'm a little surprised you're just kind of hanging out like that, risking giving away first blood like that. But Taiga... oh no. Is he going to do it again? Does he pull this creep wave again? All the way down one more time. I think it might be time we patch this out of this game.
Yeah, consider this as something that needs to be changed. And Fishman will do the same thing. He will pull the creeps to Watson. Watson complete free farm, 11 CS, 9 denies. How's mid lane doing? A lot of denies as well. 4 on Puck, 7 on Invoker.
Only 10 last hits, though, here for Stormstormer. The tie-break breaker. And Fishman, he's trying to be annoying, just hanging out. He's level 2 and hasn't taken anything for level 2 just yet. We'll see how he wants to use these mangoes as well. We've seen Undyings just kind of like run out of mana, sacrifice themselves to a tower, and then come back full health, full mana. But for right now, it's just trying to be a bit of a nuisance here on DM as well as Taiga.
I just realized, why are we not using Mana Go for this item instead. Because it gives you mana, right?
Yeah.
Would make more sense.
Yes, it makes sense to me. Mana go, it is. So, Disruption, Water Rune picked up by Taiga as well as Katomi.
Toby, level 3.5, about to crack level 4. You see Kataomi staying out of XP. Does have a stun right now, but having that extra charge on Spirit Siphon could change things a lot. I don't think they can kill Dead Prophet unless they have like Metamorphosis, Slow from Reflection, and also Leech Seed, which I don't think is going to happen. Like, she might use 2 Spirit Siphon charges. So Toby, off to a really good start. He's the one putting the pressure on Terrorblade. We've seen Watson, Yuragi also played Terrorblade. We saw Watson in the previous game as well, where you tend to get all these small items to be able to amplify your own farm. Falcon Blade, Power Treads, casual Raindrop, and I've seen Yuragi just putting Raindrop in his backpack, thinking when Toby's about to use the Crypt Swarm so he doesn't get burned.
Interesting way to play it, but that one will get burned by the Crypt Swarm, so he doesn't lose a or infused Raindrop. How do you feel about the Terrorblade coming into this game compared to the last one?
I mean, Terrorblade is really good against these ranged heroes, especially Dead Prophet. Once he gets to his Scotty timing, there's also heal coming out from Undying, like Invoker. All 3 cores are ranged, so one Scotty's got to do a lot of things. But then again, you need a lot of items. Like, this hero is a lot slower than the other carries who wants to join fights relatively early on. And Stormstormer now taking over the CS board, 31 and 13 compared to 28 and 4.
Wow. And he's looking to grab that Midas, 800 gold away from it. So he'll quickly get into the Midas, and then we'll see him kind of start the roll from there, right? Which we've seen so many times. This feels like a rerun with Stormstormer when he gets a good lane like this.
Nature's Prophet, he needs a creep wave to get himself to level 6. That with the Sunstrike. If you rotate Tiny with the Avalanche, it's a setup. So I feel like once Nature's Prophet hits level 6, we're going to see a First Blood happen. They're lurking around the mid lane. BZM does have
Avalanche Sunstrike, a lot of damage, and First Blood for Katomi on BZM. That lined up perfectly with the Sunstrike.
Kataomi takes it. We've seen what Kataomi can do once he is the one being enabled in the game, whether this is Tiny, Wyvern in the previous patches, and the Treant Protector. This has been his hero for quite some time now.
Yeah, he's gotten that First Blood, and we have seen him get quickly into these blinks. We've seen a couple of Tinies where they just find a lot to be a part of early on in the game. We've seen Taiga do it, and we've seen Katomi do it as well. And
Tiny loves to fight.
Yeah.
He definitely loves to be in those fights, getting the levels, like even if it means him dying. He doesn't love these like slower starts, slower entrance to the game where he doesn't get any levels. He's not so much level dependent, but his burst combo is insane. Like even against the cores, it's always going to be good. Taiga using Disruption. Fishman wants to check how many stacks of Ancients they have. None for Ancients, but there is triple. The big camp stacked 3 times.
TP over from the puck.
Coil.
TP out from Fishman, and it'll force the Dream Coil. And Fishman, it's not First Blood,
He's
so
fine
he's not too
with
upset
that.
with
He's actually fine. Coil used, so it's not going to be up for another full minute TP as well. So 100 gold from BZM, while rest of the lanes are going really well for Entity. This Nature's Prophet going into Hand of Midas. I'm usually not a big fan of Hand of Midas on Nature's Prophet because I've seen him being so aggressive early on when you get that Gleipnir early on. But in this type of a game where you are playing into Pango, I don't mind it because this level 20 talent, like you want to get to level 20 as soon as possible, the Sprout Leashes is just so good.
Yeah, so we'll see how quickly the Nature's Prophet can get to that. But Stormstormer, level 7 here, has Sunstrike available. They've only used it for that kill over mid. And they've used Exorcism bottom, so this should be a tier 1 tower going down, and that's going to make Yuragi's life a little bit more difficult, although he is keeping up with the Nature's Prophet for the moment. His lane has gone pretty much perfectly up to this point.
You do not want to lose this tower early on, especially since you have Treant Protector in your own team. This is where he wants to sit in the lane, get some XP, and now Misha, level 4. 2 points in Leech Seed. They didn't really play the lane. You do not want to max out this spell, so let's see if he decides to maybe put more points in the Nature's Grasp to be able to get the farm, if he's going to be the one still sitting in this lane.
Over there at Watson for a second, but DM now level 6, so he's got the Rolling Thunder to work with. He's going into the mech. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes full Guardian Greaves, of course. Maybe he gets something between mech and Guardian Greaves finish, but we'll have to see.
Most likely it's just going to be Greaves. You build into Arcane Boots. Once you have that mech, you also want to be able to dispel some of those things, Cold Snap and Silence from that Prophet, to be able to get to another round of your abilities, maybe get the Rolling Thunder off as well. A lot of OG members here on top. We still haven't seen this Wrath of Nature being used. Watson being very patient with it.
Look at where he's just sitting. Not moving for like 20 seconds. So just looking for an opening. DM, they see him. And Wrath of Nature, Sunstrike with the toss, and the damage on a DM when that Wrath of Nature hits.
This is the power that I mentioned, the global presence, Sunstrike. It's almost maxed out. It's 5 points in Exort, and Wrath of Nature hits him. You do have... Oh, haste. Stolen by Watson.
Got there in time. So, again, this is just... You could set up really well once you've got Wrath of Nature up. Sunstrike, cooldown's 25 seconds, so that'll be available to you quite often. But, like, the big burst damage is with that Wrath of Nature, right?
Yeah, it's insane amount of damage. If you get hit, last tick of it, it deals almost 600 damage. It's pretty nuts. Another Exorcism on a mid lane. Look at the supports. Like, Taiga's only level 3. He does have a book coming to him, but... it's just not enough. Treant Protector just cracked level 5. Compared, like, Tiny, I talked about him not needing the levels because he can still do things. Like, we've seen Avalanche into Toss. It's a setup for a Sunstrike. So, seems like it's not going to be enough. This Exo up and running for another 15 seconds. Catapult's still alive.
So I don't think they have a way into this. Maybe after the tower drops, they try to deny it, but that's not going to work out. You can see Yuragi trying to farm these Ancients, trying to get into the Yasha after picking up the Dragonlance, but he has no lane, and he's kind of doing it throughout the jungle, whereas Watson, he's gone to the Midas.
Watson has been sitting on this top lane for the last 11 minutes. He almost didn't leave the lane. The TP to get that haste, but that's about it.
Doesn't really need to move.
And also, interesting build from him. A bit of a different one. Thinking about going Orchid.
Sunstrike. The toss, that is dead Shadow Demon as Entity moving around the map well to get these kills so far.
I like this adjustment. I hope Watson decides to stick with it. Get that Orchid against Puck, against Pango. 100% accuracy on Sunstrike.
Yeah, 4 for 4. And that's all because he didn't go for the range creep. You know?
It messes things up, yep.
It gives you confidence to not waste the 175 mana in the beginning of the game. So there's the mech for the Death Prophet, and that'll be into Guardian Greaves relatively soon. Top tier 1 on the side of Entity is getting low and get a drop.
OG's going to run into same issue that they had throughout these tiebreakers a couple of times, that they don't have enough damage. Like Turboblade, he's farming up, so he's gonna beat the damage. Witchblade is done on BZM plus double damage in the bottle. So for the next fight, I think they're gonna be okay. It's just that these two supports, they don't scale as much. They're very defensive. So you gotta be careful how you approach it. And also Pango, as an offlaner, doesn't really deal much damage. It's all about the control, being tanky, being annoying, using that shield crash to soak up some of the damage. Entity, they have been farming all over the place, and we said it, Panel talked about it, where Invoker sits in this bottom lane, especially when he picks up this Boots of Travel, so you got to be able to find him.
Yeah, Stormer, this is just, if you look at his heat map throughout his Invoker games, this DPC, it's pretty much just bottom post a 10-minute mark, where he's throwing meteors down, farming up as much as he can, and you'll usually see him stick to the top of the net worth.
Yeah, he also doesn't overextend. He has this sixth sense of when he needs to go back, and most of the time it just works so well. Like, you can see them approaching, and he knows something is up.
He does not fall often. Goes into the triangle. He's going Blink, BKB. we'll see him eventually finish off a Hex. We've seen a lot from him on this Invoker.
It's pretty much always the same build. This Hand of Midas bots into Blink BKB. The order can be different with Blink and BKB. But OG, they're trying to smoke and try to make something happen. Double damage up and running for another 15 seconds, plus Arcane Rune. This is big if they can find an opening.
Fishman, he could be the opening. They're going to start to bring over Katomi, but...
They want the bigger target.
BZM, he's in. They've got the Silence with the Waning Rift, but Dreamcoil now on a 2. Wrath of Nature's down. Tornado lands. Meteor right on top. They've got the Overgrowth coming through from Misha. It's on a 3 of these heroes. The Rolling Thunder now from DM. Going after Stormer. Doesn't quite hit him. Fishman still surviving. They've meted on Yuragi, so right-click damage is going to be big. They get the kill there on a Fishman. They'll take out 2. OG, they get something out of this fight, and they even the game up at 3 kills apiece.
It was also Coil with the Arcane Rune, so he's going to have it in another 25 seconds. Toby is close, does have Exo available.
Cold Snap. Avalanche, Sunstrike, and down he comes to die. Misha falls to Toby, so they at least get 1 in return. BCM coming around again. He doesn't have Dream Coil for another 10 seconds, but he'll use that Illusory Orb to jaunt away.
Watson does not want to buy his items yet. He was also thinking about getting the Maelstrom, but also not buying any components, keeping things open, and he also wants to show his Orchid like straight away. He does not want to buy components, show on a side lane so that Puck, he gives like Puck advantage. So the first Orchid reveal is going to be big. This is where you want to kill Puck most likely, because so far they did manage to bring him down once, and we've seen BZM pop off. Like he's been carrying the team from the mid lane. He's the one that you can rely on, that he's going to do the right things to keep them in the game, especially if the side lanes are not going well.
So yeah, now this Orchid's picked up. Let's see if they can find BZM. For right now, he is bottom. The only one who's nearby is this Death Prophet, who's got Exo, has those Guardian Greaves that were just finished off. Both offlaners finishing them at similar timings. Stormer, he's hanging out top now as Toby's taking over bottom. And Misha nearby, but there's a fight over in the river. They've got the Orchid. They'll have the Sunstrike toss up into the air. There's the Sprout with the Wrath of Nature. And they get the kill on a BZM once again and finish off Taiga.
Next Exorcism, like once, or maybe when Toby hits level 12, this is where Roshan opens up. They have a lot of damage. I don't think OG can match like the damage output. They do have 2 saving supports, so they don't really bring much. Shadow Demon has 1 job pretty much. That's use Demonic Purge on Death Prophet when she uses Exo, so they try to reset. But this Exo has been popped.
And they brought everybody down here to get this tower. Creeps will be killed, and the tower looking like it's going to be in a lot of trouble, but the TPs are coming through. Yusha's here. They start to back off on Entity. Swashbuckle forward, disarm onto Fishman, drops a tombstone onto the high ground. Dream Coil lands onto the Undying, but now silence onto this Nature's Prophet, and he's dead. He's all alone. They're trying to TP out on Fishman, but they get the disruption just in time. So that means 2 dead for Entity.
Entity stayed there for way too long. This is a tier 2 tower. It has a lot of HP, a lot of armor. They've been also using living armor on top of it, so they're not gonna take it down. Like these Treants, the damage is just not there. So good move from OG. As long as they can delay the game, I think that they scale well this Terrorblade. Like we talked about the Scotty being his next big item, and he's pretty much rushing it. He didn't finish like it's a Dragonlance Yasha into Scotty, which I really like. We talked about him being able to slow them down, reduce the healing from Death Prophet, and also playing into 3 range cores is... I don't think you can find a better item than Scotty. Like,
looks like it's going to be the item of choice, and we'll see how much it does. Death Prophet, though, we talked about that Exorcism, right? Bottom tier 2. Damage wasn't done to get the kill, and they also lose a couple heroes there. You're talking about how when they hit that level 12, they'll potentially go for Roche, but that was maybe contingent on taking a bigger advantage, right?
This bottom push was like not the cleanest one from Entity. With the second one, they might try to go for a fight and then take Roche, but they could also force it. They could also say, you know, we want to fight here. Could be maybe they are gonna be afraid of Pango with the Blink Dagger. Their ward is gonna get dewarded, so they know rest of OG is sitting behind Yuragi.
Their side of the squad is over towards bottom. As they've got the Orchid, they'll get the Sunstrike Stormer with another kill. He's 1-0-4. So another kill for the team. First one on the board for him as he had 4 assists. He just picked up that BKB, and now going into the Blink Dagger. Like you said, they're pretty much interchangeable depending on the feel of the game. And that's exactly what we see here is he's already getting quite a bit of farm on it.
Toby. Guardian Greaves just to keep these Treants alive, even for a moment.
And they've also got that double window ace for the extra movement speed. So 2 aces needed to tie your shoes. That's exactly what he'll do with them. Avalanche, toss, Sunstrike. This combo's working.
This is the reveal of Katomi's Blink Dagger. He's holding the Philosopher's Stone, so you can expect Tiny to get more items in this game. This is the 4-staff Lotus as well. It sounds really good for dispelling things. And after picking off Shadow Demon, getting a kill on bottom, they're going to look for a fight. They know that Yuragi doesn't have a Scotty yet.
This is really quick, not jaunting into the illusory orb, and they're going to fight this with the Exorcism going off. They're going to try and get the Aegis into the hands of Watson. They've got the Aegis. They'll get the kill on a DM, and now the Tornado ends into Yuragi. They can chase, but the Overgrowth is going to be used here by Misha to lock him up. So these heroes now need to chase to catch up, but getting just the Pango and grabbing an Aegis is more than enough for Entity to be happy about this one.
Nicely layered spells. Orchid onto Pango, pops the Guardian Greaves immediately, gets silenced by the Dead Prophet, and then another Avalanche on top of that, so he can't use his Rolling Thunder, which is a big teamfight ulti for them. So Watson holding the Aegis for 4.5 minutes, level 14. He's getting those levels from Hand of Midas. Like we talked about the level 20 talent Sprout leashes, but then again, you're playing into TB, so the other talent also looks juicy. The mischance against Terrorblade looks really good.
They're both super strong. They both sound like 25 talents, truthfully.
Yeah, they do.
I don't really understand why they're still at level 20. Misha, he's got the Shard. He only has 1 level in the Nature's Grasp, and has freaking Leech Seed with 4 in the Living Armor. But now with that Shard, we'll see what he can accomplish, and then upgrade on the Nature's guys. What are Entity going to do with this Aegis? They've got a 5k lead and a BKB flying out for Watson.
2 BKBs. Even though there are BKB piercing abilities on OG, they definitely feel much more comfortable coming into a next fight with it. This is where Entity is going to try to go for a pickoff. Next Exo is going to be available in about 30 seconds. And I love the build on Toby. Guardian Greaves into Heaven's Halberd. So gives him more tankiness, and also against the Terrorblade, evasion, plus also a disarm chance. So this is pretty huge. I love these. Like his next item might just be either a Blink Dagger or a BKB to have like even more tankiness. But if he feels like he needs to stick on a target, Blink Dagger sounds really nice.
Yeah, we've seen some Death Prophets go to the Blink Dagger and just want to be in these fights with the Spirit Siphons, especially when they pick up the Shard. That upgrade, giving that fear when you've got these heroes siphoned for just a little while. So we'll see
one issue that we haven't talked about is OG, they don't have heroes to kill the Tombstone with. Like Terrorblade's not going to sit in a fight and just kill the Tombstone. No. He has higher priority targets to hit. Other 4 heroes, they can't do it.
Unless they focus it, so it feels like this Tombstone's going to be full duration no matter what. Go after Fishman. No. Waning Rift.
Good toss.
Back to his team. Sunstrike. It's not going to do much, but now they've got the Meteor down. The Overgrowth on a 5, but can they fight? It's a great Overgrowth from Misha, but they've got the Disarm. It's onto the Terrorblade. He cannot right-click any of these heroes. They've got the Tombstone down once again. The Illusion's trying to work on it. Exorcism running forward, but Taiga using that Demonic Purge, slowing up Toby.
Misha still hiding. He's there. Being picked up by Watson.
Silence, and there's the Orchid. They'll get a kill at least on Misha.
It's a heavy commitment using this Dead Prophet Exorcism. BKBs were popped as well. 1 on Stormer, 1 on Watson. But they want to kill this tier 2 tower now.
Let's see if they can get this tower the second time around. Not a bad disengage from OG, I would say. I know that they were wanting to fight.
It was a big overgrowth, and also what I mentioned, Shadow Demon, one job. This is what he needs to do. Use this Demonic Purge on Dead Prophet, so they move around, and once the Exorcism down, if there's no Aegis, they can start to play a bit more aggressive. Watson going into AC next. That's interesting. I expected him to maybe get a bit more damage, get that Maelstrom instead, because you want to pierce through Terrorblades, high armor. He's now sitting at 28 armor, which is 62% physical resistance, so most of the time you want to build either MKB or a Maelstrom.
So neither being the choice so far. We'll see if he sticks to the AC, right? Like, he doesn't necessarily need to finish it. He's kept up a lot of gold, so
also,
we'll see.
With the AC, you do give them AC once the reflection is used on Nature's Prophet for a while, so needs to be careful with some of these auras.
And after the BKB Blink was built by Stormstormer, he's going into the Hex, so we'll have that Stormstormer aggression that we see once he picks up this item. He usually goes Blink, Hex, and just annihilates these heroes.
Blink, Hex, Octarine Core. This is the build. They just saw Nisha.
Nisha? Tornado. And there's a Meteor down onto the Tree Protector. Kill him off with the Deafening Blast. So, Heaven's Albert being built here for Pangolier. Not an item we see all too often, but two being built in this game.
It's a good one. It's situational. You get a lot of value from it against Nature's Prophet. It's really good. Makes you more tanky. It also synergizes well with your lucky shot. So if you proc it, then you get Heaven's Halberd, then another proc. But look at Toby. Doesn't give a damn about what they're throwing at him. Sitting underneath the tower, Dragon Scale, 27 armor. Mischance as well. Guardian Greaves available.
It's those two Wraith Bands that are really doing it.
Yeah, it's just it just feels awkward, you know. The hero that is primary gain is intelligence, having two Wraith Bands just feels I don't know, out of place.
Yeah, it's a weird feel because we've been seeing a lot of Wraith Bands being purchased all over the place. So again, that's one of those things that maybe we'll see in the next patch kind of phased out. So Pango almost has the Sange. Onward's kind of far. Farming okay. And he's got just about the same net worth here as the Death Prophet.
That's another pickoff from Stormstormer. He's just playing on these side lanes, involved in 10 out of 12 kills. DM getting found here.
Spirit Siphon and DM losing a lot of health. And just getting run at here by Toby. Like you said, he doesn't give a damn. Waning Rift, no Dream Coil. Fishman coming over. Phase Shift, jaunting to the Illusory Orb and looking for the Sunstrike. They've got the Orchid. And with the Cold Snap, they're going to have this puck in a lot of trouble. Phase Shift once again. And Illusory Orb jaunting, keeping the Courier on top of him to keep the vision. They've got the Sprout. Phase Shift once more. Blink away. Now the Living Armor, but right towards Kataomi. And they'll get the kill on BZM.
No Dispel on Puck. I've seen Pucks being victims of not trying to get any kind of a Dispel. Like, there's maybe he thinks with Living Armor, with Disruption, there is enough. He does want to scale, but if he's getting caught like one more time, this is going to be a big issue. This gives him like some magic resistance, Nether Shawl, and also status resistance with Kaya Sange, but I'm not sure if that's enough. Like especially once Invoker picks up his Hex, which he's very close, then you can go for these solo pickoffs on any side of the map, pretty much.
This has not been too fun for BZM. He's had now 3 deaths. Roche, though, 10 seconds away from potentially respawning. So we'll see what the extra cooldown is, and it'll be 3 minutes. That's
full 3
long
minutes
one for the Aegis and the Agh's Shard. So a lot of time here for maybe OG to kind of get something going to be ready for this fight.
Yuragi just finished off his BKB, so this is a big item for them, so he can actually sit inside, like in the middle of the fight, and deal damage. The problem is, can they lock onto a target? With the Overgrowth, there is still no Blink available on Treant. BZM needs to be the one catching heroes, but then again, if he catches these 2 cores, Watson or Stormstormer, they can run away with the BKB.
Bottom lane, they're going to catch themselves a Shadow Demon once again, and Stormer now dominating, showing off that Hex. They do finish off the Heaven's Halberd on Pangolier, but and that AC gets built in full for the Nature's Prophet. So this is timing sitting for Entity. What do OG do?
They're trying to think of, maybe if it's a Roche spawn, we'll try to get inside a pit and get it, and Storm's already on it. He knows. He just used the Sunstrike, scouted it there, right there, but nothing's happening. There is no Roche.
Yeah, Fishman ends up just dying, and BZM invis, now Avalanche. Toss up into the air. They've got the silence. They'll have the Orchid. Overgrowth, not going to matter. Deafening Blast gets the kill. DM coming around with the Rolling Thunder. Damage out from Yuragi with the BKB pop, and he can't get the kill to Katomi just yet. They have the root from the upgraded nature guys onto Toby. They might be able to kill off the Death Prophet, but they can't finish him off. The Spirit Siphon's keeping him alive. He will not die. There's the Hex onto DM, who will shield crash out of the low ground. The Meteor lands on Amisha. They get the kill there onto the Tree Protector, taking out a second. They bought back on this Tiny, and now they've got an Orchid onto the Shadow Demon. Sprout to block him out, and they get a third.
If they got Terrorblade there, that would be massive. Two supports on Entity buying back immediately, understanding that this Roche fight could happen anytime. He could respawn, but it's going to be the longest one. Stormer, like, if we could see the damage, it's going to be probably through the roof. Oh, actually not that much. It's Nature's Prophet who's dealing it, but he did use two combos. Hex into Cold Snap into a full Meteor damage, immediately deleting two heroes from the game. DM now in trouble.
Orchid right clicks, he uses that Heaven's Halberd, but they've got the Avalanche, they have the toss with the Cold Snap, and down goes DM. 10k lead here for Entity.
Very nice spell casting. Toby again waiting with the silencer, not overlapping any of their abilities, and Roche should be up there. This is like, yeah, it needs to spawn in the next 10 seconds pretty much.
They've got a Treant waiting. They have a deep ward on the lane in top, so they could see potentially a rotation to come over and try and contest this.
Stormer is just having too good of a game. They can't connect onto him and catch him, and here it is. This is the second Roche. Aegis plus Shard. Nature's Prophet hits that level 20. Sprout leashes talent.
Does Shard just go to Toby?
I assume so. I mean, they could give it to Nature's Prophet as well. It's not the worst one. It also shows where this Treant Protector is, but Toby's going to be the one picking it up. Like, the fear mechanic just feels much better.
Yeah, with how tanky he's been, just standing there and getting 3 seconds out of Spirit Siphon just does not feel difficult at all.
He also found the Blast Rig on Toby. This is a huge item since you're playing against Terrorblade. It makes you even more tankier. We talked about his damage reduction. It's 62% physical with the mischance from Blast Rig and also Heaven's Halberd, plus a disarm. So it's like he's going to be super tanky in those fights.
Shiva's Guard finished for the Death Prophet, so even tankier to walk into these fights. Coming over, they are smoked.
Under division, BZM on high ground.
I am the ward. I am the ward. Looking to surprise Entity. And they've got the Waning Rift. They have the Rolling Thunder. Can they get a heal here on the Stormer? Overgrowth. Aegis gone, but the damage coming into Taiga as well as BZM might be a little bit too much for them to handle with the BKB Papa Yuragi. They go after these heroes on the side of Entity.
They need to
Dream
help
Coil. He's leashed up. Rolling Thunder. Oh, the Hurricane Pike pushed him out of the Dream Coil and killed him. Stormer goes down. And there's a little help over to the side from the neutral camp, but they end up losing the Shadow Demon. Now Katomi's going to be run down by Yuragi as well as BZM. Have some help from DM, and they get 2 kills, no buybacks.
Not the fight that they expected. Like, they ran up the high ground. There's also a Tombstone, but OG, they were well prepared for this. Setting up, placing that Observer Ward, and also just BZM sitting there and providing vision for his own team. Like, you see this Invoker disappeared immediately from Terrorblade.
Yeah,
4,000 damage done in the previous fight.
I like that move by the TB too with the Hurricane Pike to push him out of the coil. That was a cute little finisher. 9k lead still though for Entity. They got a couple of kills thanks to the Tiny too. But when you see Yuragi go into the Metamorphosis and have that BKB, he's the raid boss right now.
Yeah, if he gets the BKB off, if there's no Heaven's Halberd before he pops that BKB, damage will be done. Treant Protector with the Overgrowth, like Shadow Demon now has a Blink Dagger, so He can connect onto a target with the Demonic Purge. Scott is slow, Reflection slow. Items are starting to get on Yuragi. He's the most farm hero in the game right now. Very close to Daedalus, so once he hits that, it's gonna be some, like they need to start building into armor. Any armor item, a lot of value.
So how far away? Not too far away from this Daedalus, like you pointed out, so just 300 gold. And he'll have a boatload of damage coming into maybe a third Roche fight a lot later on, as it's 5 minutes from potentially respawning, as that Aegis was used very quickly by Stormer. Without that second life, we saw how quickly they could kill the Invoker. Maybe they go for it again on the side of OG, despite the fact that they are down 10k. A lot of that, I mean, you got Katomi, who's up 3,000 on his counterpart, and I guess Stormer 2, compared to BZM, the split is basically what makes up that difference.
Yeah, pretty much. Smoke from Entity. They want to be the one engaging. Smoke on smoke action. Full Daedalus now done.
Smoke broken, avoids the Avalanche, but they've got the Hex. It's going to be on a BZM. He's on the back lines. They've got the Tombstone down. They're going to look over to the Metamorphosis as well as the BKB. Pop by Yuragi. So they go after Tiny. They get the kill. They get Katomi out of the fight immediately, but Misha's fallen too.
Disarm, in trouble.
Dream Coil. They have it onto both Watson as well as Toby, but can they get the kill? Yuragi no longer with the BKB. He needs to be careful. He's got a Sunder available, but can he get it? No, he can't.
Oh, the disruption.
Saving the life of this terribly. The 4-step back hill. Sunder is Zone Bangolier. That gets DM low. Watson's still on the run. The 4-step forward. They look over as BZM trying to get the Illusory Orb and the damage to get the kill here, but he leashed him up with the Sprout. They have the damage to take out the Buck. And they will get themselves at least one more. But Fishman, Hex on a DM. He's gonna go down too. It's all for the Undying. And Watson trying to TP out. There's nobody there to stop him.
He does have a TP available if he wants to come back into the fight. BZM overextended there a little bit, getting caught. Like his Eon Disc was already procced. But Terrorblade dealing some massive damage in those fights. Like if he's uncontested, like you could feel them waiting until his BKB wears off. Then they try to disarm him, hex him. He gets the Sunder off in the end. And this Bloodthorn, like it's causing a lot of issues. Watson, his next item is going to be Nullifier. So Eon Disc, say bye-bye. Living Armor, these 4-staff, they're not going to be as effective anymore. Double damage bottom.
Really try to hope that they also don't get a Witchbane to drop when it's available.
Yeah, just any kind of a Dispel is going to be really big. Whether we're talking about dispelling things, like dispelling the overgrowth, whatever it is, it's just like valid. Some of the neutral items, especially the tier 3s, like Mindbreaker, tier 4s, like they feel way too impactful in some of the matches.
Yuragi, meanwhile, he's trying to build himself into a butterfly. See if he can float in these fights. Maybe sting like a bee. But Tomy.
There's already a full Bloodthorn on Nature's Prophet. So going for Butterfly will also force them to build into MKBs, which, I don't know, he might still swap things around. Because you are playing against the Death Prophet, so like even the Ghosts deal the damage.
Ooh, Spell Prism for BZM.
He'll hold that one. It's a really good one. Level 20 on Puck, minus 4 seconds on Banning Rift, and also lowering the cooldown on it.
What would you rather come out from Yuragi other than the Butterfly, if you had to choose?
I mean, he's pretty jacked. I wouldn't mind seeing Aghanim Scepter, to be honest.
You know, I was kind of thinking that with, like, say, Swift Blink afterwards, if you could get to that. I mean, theoretically, there's third Roche. If he does pick up that Aghanim Scepter from that third Roche, if it's what's the prize, that could be huge. Path of Nature bouncing around, and having that Terror Wave in these fights, which have been pretty condensed, would be massive here for the Terrorblade. Also, of course, giving that extra Metamorphosis duration.
Yeah. Fishman has dropped the Tombstone, Flash Golem instantly, and we'll get a D-Ward. So next Roche, potentially a minute. Full Butterfly. I mean, it's, if he's thinking about his damage output, I don't mind Butterfly, but when it comes down to defensive purposes from the Butterfly, he's not getting the full value.
Right. But if he ends up on the best timeline, which is them getting the third Roche with Ag's Blessing on it, I think this kind of works out pretty well. Level 20 about to hit that 21. He hit the 10-second conjure image duration. Let's see. Prophet about to hit 25 too.
He does have enough money to buy Satanic, but not enough for Satanic and buyback. So for now, just holding it.
So hold on to that gold, especially with
Dire's middle
Rosh
tower
up
is under attack.
soon. Smoked is 5. They're wrapping around. Toby in the trees in a great spot. Smoke's going to be broken, and they have no idea. Toby now spotted, and EZM waiting rift. Ooh, avoiding the tornado EMP over to the side, but they've got the deafening blast with the meteor. We'll get the damage on the BZM.
Tombstone on the high ground.
Take it out so quickly. They've also got the Hex. It's on to Yaragi. He's trying to run as Misha gets the root on Katomi, but Taiga trying to leave the toss. It's not going to get the kill just yet, but they've got Fishman coming in and finishing him off with the help of the Ogre Seal Totem. BKB TP out from Yaragi, and OG really just don't get anything in that fight. Hex, Cold Snap, Ice Wall down, and they also hit that Orchid. They're coming around with Watson and the rest of the team, so another one will fall as it's Misha to die.
OG fighting underneath the vision. First, Toby breaks the smoke. They did plant an Observer Ward for themselves near the outpost, but didn't provide him with the enough vision. And like, damage has already been done. They go in, they delete one hero. Puck didn't have Eon Disc available for another 20 seconds, so slightly surprised that they decided to take that fight.
Roshan, 10 seconds. Speedy one.
Radiant's middle tower
Oh, Invoker hits level 25. He was thinking about getting the refresher against the full Octarine core, Radial Deafening Blast against TB and the Illusions. Let's see what it is from Roche.
It's Ag's Blessing.
It's Ag's Blast. It's the big one.
They're just never going to get here in time. There's no shot for OG to get it. So this will be Ag's Blessing, Aegis Cheese for Entity. And Ag's immediately used there for Stormstormer, who will now have the Cataclysm.
Not the best setup for Cataclysm. Like, it needs to be Avalanche Toss combo, Sprout with the Leash mechanic.
Kind of forces the team, though. It forces OG to shuffle, right?
Yeah, it's one of those spells. When you hear it, you better run. BZM.
Avalanche, Hex, Deafening Radial Blast, and he's able to escape thanks to the Aeon Disc. It's the Blink, Sunstrike, actually the Cataclysm. Illusory Orb, and stays. But Stormstormer's here.
Another Hex is available.
They found him. Avalanche. They've got eyes on this pup. Illusory Orb and making these Treants. BZM, he juked them all.
Oh my God, he actually got out.
Wow, that was impressive. Everybody here for the side of Entity, and he still leaves.
And look at the Entity already on the top lane. Stormstormer using a Ninja Gear, smoking himself. He knows that with the Blink Dagger and the Sight combo, he could go for these easy pickups on the side lane. Oh, Taiga's going to be the victim this time around.
Yeah, I think beneficial in the way that it's just not DM there for OG, but still losing these heroes in. It may still be DM. Forced to go into the Rolling Thunder. Just to get out of this one, and BZM again. They want him. They're searching with this Nature's Prophet at times. He's got himself at level 25, so the no teleport cooldown.
And he also found a Dispel for himself, Stormcrafter, so removing the silences.
X, Radial Blast, and the Meteors are down. They got Watson in. They'll throw an Alacrity onto him. Can he get out of this one? Sunstrike, Illusory Orb, BZM hit by the Tornado, and phase shifting, but Watson's here again. They've got the Sprout.
He found the toss. This is also a gem. Gem's being pinged. Someone needs to pick it up. 27k gold lead. OG, they just can't make the moves. Like, they have this Spangle from the off lane that doesn't really deal damage. There's 2 gems in their own base.
What can you
and
do?
And Tiny's holding one, so no, I was wondering why Trin Protector does not have a Blink Dagger, only sitting on Shard and 400 gold.
So wait, there's 3 gems.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Entity holding all 3.
Not sure what OG can do, but there's always a path back. Question is, can they make the perfect high ground defense to start that way back? Exorcism bottom. Start to go for the tier 3 tower, and OG are spectating as their base starts to get low.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Can eventually make the jump. They've got the alacrity, so now Watson's starting to wail away at the base with the help of this Exo.
Radiant's
Tornado in, lands on 2. It's an illusion in Yuragi himself.
are fortified.
Popping
Another
the glyph.
silence onto the Terror Blade, though. Glyph again.
Exo's running out. They got the tower. They can keep repeating what they're doing. You see immediately Stormstormer TPing top. Meteor and looking for a pickoff on the other side of the map. Smoked with that ninja gear, going into Refresher next.
Has a haste to pick up. Silver Edge for the Terror Blade. Is this the damage? Like, I don't know if this item's going to be so game-changing. I don't know if any item's going to be so game-changing. OG just have to have the perfect fights.
Radiant are scanning.
It's even more damage. There's not much to break in this game, but I guess he wants to, like, explode. Reveal himself from the invis and just lock onto a target and kill it immediately.
So if somehow OG survive it all, maybe they could get themselves 4th Roche. That would be Refresher Shard and Ag's Blessing for Yuragi. But it's going to be some time to get to that point. There's still 55 seconds on the current Aegis, so we're
Entity
talking about
having
way in
a
the
really good
future.
read. Like, look at Fishman's positioning.
Watson.
They know.
They have the Cataclysm coming through, and the damage is going to be put out
Still
on the
has
side of
Aegis.
OG. They have the Disruption to save the Shadow Team. They'll get the Aegis out of the hands of Watson. Now they're going to look over. They should be able to finish off this Shadow Demon. They've got the Tornado. It lands on Yuragi. He's moving over, but now
He got
Spirit
the Sarm.
Siphon. Rolling Thunder hits on 3. That splits up the Spirit Siphon, so he won't be feared, but he's still going to be killed thanks to the Hex that's coming out from the Invoker. Stormstormer chasing for DM. They already got 3 down on the side of OG. They're TPing in on the Nature's Prophet, and Watson will clean up DM. 4 heroes gone on the side of OG.
They got the Aegis, again, smoking into Aegis like that, which is still 40 seconds. Oh, he on this
BCM.
is proc.
Sprouted up, phase shift, EMP, looking for the high 5, and he'll just say bye-bye.
They could be anywhere on the map. This level 25 on the Nature's Prophet and also Boots of Travel. Like, he might even pick up bots too. Yeah, that's actually what he's bringing. Damage from Stormstormer. He died once so far in this game.
Radiant's
6,000.
Toby's
160
performance on Dead Prophet has been amazing. Like, we've seen it every single time they play that they can't really kill the cores. There's 2 deaths on cores combined in this game.
And Toby yet to die. He's enjoying life at 8-0 and 14. Rolling Thunder trying to buy some time. TB up in 15 seconds. Rolling Thunder starting to do some damage. They've got the Dream Coil down on the 2. They'll have the Radial Deafening Blast coming out from Stormstormer. But Tiny's still surviving. The throne getting low. Nobody here to stop this one. They still don't have the Terror Blade. They get the buyback and the kill on a BCM. So no more puck. As they'll focus their attention onto the throne. They finally have the TB back, but it's not looking like it's going to matter. And Entity will knock OG out of the tiebreaker and qualify for the major.
Entity, the 4th team from Western Europe to go to a major. OG will need to sit this one out. Entity, they...